And now let's start working on our EDA app. So here in our EDA app, I'm going to create a sub menu, and in which I will have two new pages inside our EDA app too. And let's do this. So let's create a variable submenu, and in which I will have two new categories. They are the descriptive, and the second one would be the plots. So where here in the page descriptive we will have all the descriptive analysis part, and in the plots we will share all our plots that we have created, and we will create a submenu for it. So let's make a variable choice here, and in which, and we will place this particular submenu inside our sidebar too. So st.sidebar, and in my sidebar I will give them a select box, and in that particular select box I will name this as the submenu, and I will give the following options that I have created in a list submenu. And right now let's save this, let's click on cancel, and let's move to our exploratory data analysis section, and here we have a submenu naming the plots and the descriptive part. And now let's pass an if statement. So if the choice is only equals to descriptive, and in that case I want the user to see the data. So let's copy these two lines of code and just paste it here. So and else, so that is we have only two options, so I will use else part here. Else I will just pass it for now. And now let's save this, and here we got our data. Oops, it is printed two times, and now let's erase this out. And now let's save this, and here we can see that we have only one data frame here. And when we check in our plots page, and we don't have any data. So let's move on to descriptive now, and here I want to add some more descriptive analysis part. And here I have created how my descriptive analysis page must look like. So firstly we will have that particular data frame out there, and then I want the describe part. So that basically the data frame that we have, or the data set that we have, has the every column as a numerical column, and so it is better to have a describe part at the beginning. And I will use the beta columns function and create two new columns. They are the data types and the information part, and later I will use the beta expander and create four new sections. They are the column 6. Here I will tell the user that these many value counts of male are there, and these particular count of female are here. And finally I will give the chest type value counts, and the rest ECG, and finally the slope. And this is how our particular web page for our descriptive analysis will look like. And now let's get working into it. So firstly I have to display the data frame describe. So st.data frame, and in which I will use the describe function. So df.describe. And now let's save this, and let's check our web app, and here we got the describe part. So let's give a subheader here, st.subheader. Let's say here are the statistical values for all the numerical columns. And then we have to use our beta columns to create two new columns. So let's take a variable column 1 and column 2, and in which st.beta columns, where I need two columns. And with my column 1 I will give the subheader st.subheader, and in which I will tell them data types and st.data frame, and here I will use the function data type. So df.data types, which will return us all the data types. Oops, it is d types. And now let's save this and check for the d types column here. And here we got all the data types for these columns. And now we will use our column 2. So with column 2, where I will use st.subheader and name them, I will tell them basic information about the data. And here I will again use the data frame function. So st.data frame, where I will use the function info. So df.info. And now let's save this. Here it shows empty. This is because the info what we get is not in the form of a data frame, and so here we got the value empty over here. And in order to display that particular information, we will use our image too. So firstly, let's import our image package from our pillow. So from pil I will import the package image. Let's display it. So let's take a variable img, and in which image dot open, and here I will open the following image named the info.png. It must be in dot quotes, and I will particularly display this particular image in our Streamlit tab. So st.image, and I will pass in the following variable img. Let's save this, and here we got our image here. And now let's work on with the process of our beta expander. So in our column 1, I will use the beta expander. So with beta expander, I will firstly name it as the column 6, but here we are going to use a different data frame in total, because the particular data frame that we have over here are all having the numerical values. So here let's say we have the column 6, and in which it represents 1 for male and the 0 for female. But I don't want to be like this, whereas I need the values based on category. So I want particularly male or female, and we have changed their names using another Jupyter notebook over here. And I have also particularly saved this renamed data frame into a CSV file. So let's import that too, and let's go over here, and now let's import our renamed data frame. So dt equals pd.read csv, and here I named it in a file name as the renamed data. So let's go back to our editor, and let's type renamed underscore data dot csv, and now let's save this, and we have our data, renamed data named as dt. And let's come over here, and we will use our particular data frame dt. So st.data frame, and here I will call my data frame dt, and in which I will take the column 6, and I will get the value counts of it. So value count. Oops, it is now showing we did not name our beta expander, because here I did not use our Streamlit. So st.beta expander, and now let's save it, and here it shows, oops, it is small s, and let's save this. Oops, it is value counts, and let's save it. And here we can see that we have a particular beta expander where we have the column 6. And now we will use another one where with st.beta expander, and in which I will check for my column rest ECG. So rest ECG, and again ist.data frame, and where I will call my data frame dt, and I will call the column rest ECG, and I will get the value counts out of it. So value counts, let's save it. And here we got another one named as the rest ECG, where it have three categories, namely the ST wave abnormality and the normal patients, and the left ventricular hypertrophy, where there are 4 patients. And similarly we will get through our column 2. So with column 2 and st dot beta expander, and with st dot beta expander I will name them as my column chest pain type. So chest pain type, and here st dot data frame, where I will call my data frame dt, and I will get the column chest pain type, and I will get the value counts too, and I will get their value counts too. So counts, and let's save it. And finally we have another one. So with st dot beta expander, and I will name it as the variable slope. So and then and I will create a data frame for it. So st.data frame, and inside which I will call my data frame dt, and the column which is named as the st underscore slope, and I will get the value counts out of it, which value counts. And now let's save this and check for our web page here. And here we got the chest pain type, where we have 4 types, namely the typical angina, non-anginal pain, and the atypical angina, and the asymptomatic. And we have the slope too, where we have downsloping, flat, and upsloping. And for now we have successfully framed our descriptive subpage in our page exploratory data analysis.